All right, so now we've been able to create the file upload utility function, but as I was going through, and I noticed that there was some things I missed. So this date here, it's new dates, and I don't even know how I missed that. um then for the name of the file name, we're not just going to append the date with the file dot original name. We're going to, you know, append a hyphen in between the both of them. So append the hyphen like that, and then just add your plus. So I believe those are the two things that we missed out. So I'll go ahead and save this file. Now next, before we um start uploading files, you see these uploads that we define. We said we want the destination of our files to be inside this uploads folder. We need to tell we need to specify this upload folder in our root, which is the server.js. So to do that, you just have to go to server.js, and I'll just put it below. Okay, so I'll just put it below this middleware here. Let me just quickly slot it somewhere here. So I'll say app.use, and before I do app.use, let's import a module, the path module. So here I'll just say require. Oh, okay, require. Yeah, so the name of the module I want to require is called path. Okay, so we're going to require this module. Now we'll now come here and define the upload folder. So here I'll say app.use, and then I would say /uploads. That's the name of the folder. Then we're now going to say express.static. So just like we did when we were deploying to Heroku, express.static, and then we're just going to open it. Now we'll now say path.join, path.join. I don't know what's wrong with my my what's it called, my mouse, sorry, my keyboard. Okay, so let's open the path.join. So now we want to define the directory name for where our uploads is going to be stored. So I'll say __ directory name. Then I'll now specify it as uploads. Aha, so that's it. So what this means now is that we've linked up our uploads. The upload functionality that we created here in this file.upload is going to point to the uploads folder. All right, great. So now let's come to the product route, and now we can specify that we want to upload something with this route. So the way we do that is, first of all, we are going to import the upload here. So remember, in our file.upload.js, we exported this upload. So I'll come here to my product route, and then first of all, I'll import it. So I'll say upload, and I'll import it from my utils folder. Next, I'm going to now tell this router, so I'll add a middleware to tell this router that I want to use this upload functionality with this route. So I'll just come here and say upload, and because I just want to upload a single file, I'll now say .single. Then I'll specify the name excuse me, that I want to associate this upload with. So I want it to be image. All right, here you just add a comma. But if you wanted to upload like multiple files, more than one file, this will now be upload.array. Okay, but for now what we need is a single file. Great, so we can go ahead and save this guy, and let's head over to the product controller, and we can then add the functionality to upload an image. All right, so now in the products controller, let's see, this is where we did the create product, and where we want to manage the file upload. Let me change it to handle file upload. Handle seems like a better word. Okay, so here the first thing I'll do is I'll create a I'll create an empty object. I'll call that file data, and I'll set that to be equal to an empty object. Okay, now what we want to handle is file upload. Yes, so I'll have an if statement. Remember, when we added our validation, we didn't make it compulsory for files to be here for us to proceed. So what I'm going to do here is I'll say that if there is a file, so request.file, so if there's a file that comes with the request, then I want to process that inside of this if statement. So how are we going to process it? Well, we're just going to so I'll just come here and create a file data variable and set it to be equal to, let's open the object. This file data variable is going to have some properties. All right, so the first is going to be the file name, and I'll set that to the request.file.original name. Okay, so it's giving me autocomplete, which is great. So let me just duplicate this and then I'll just change the things I want. So the next is going to be the file path. In other words, where is the file located? So file path, and this is going to be file request.file.path. Then we're going to have the file type. This is what we define the format of the file. So file type is going to be request.file. I'm sure you remember MIME type. So MIME type. Then lastly, we're going to have the file size. Now for this file size is going to be request.file.size. Now there's one thing though, for this file size, it's just going to give us the size of the file in bytes. So usually you want to convert it to kilobyte, or you just want to have a function that can format the size of the files. So for that function, I'm not going to actually just start typing it out to create the function. It's one of those things that you know how it works, just have it somewhere and then just copy it and use it whenever you want. So in the original project, I already have the file size formatter, so I'm just going to use that here. You know what, so I'll just grab that file size formatter, and you know what, I don't even want to keep it in this file so that this file is not just overly bloated. So I'll just slot it inside my file uploads and then I'll export it here as well. So I'll come down here. Where do I put it? Okay, I'll just come down here and then I'll just add a comment that will say file size formatter. Now this is also going to be in the finished project, so it's something you can just grab and just slot into your own project. Okay, so this is it. Now look at this file size formatter function. It's not something that I want to start writing out one by one and stuff like that. It's something that I know how it works. It simply converts, or we know how it works. It simply converts a file size that is in bytes to either kilobytes, megabytes, gigabyte, and stuff like that. So this is it. You can just take your time to go through it if you want, but at least just know that we have it here. We can go ahead and export it. So I can just add a comma here and just export file size formatter, yeah, as well. So now I can use it from anywhere in our application. Just know that it takes two parameters. Okay, it takes the byte and then the decimal, how many decimal points you want it to output the results. Exactly. So I got to go ahead and save this guy, and I can bring it into my products controller. So here I'll just come up here and say file size formatter, and I'll import it from my utils. Great. So this point here where we are outputting the file size, you don't just want to output the file size like this. You want to actually slot it into the file size formatter. So let me show you how we're going to do that. So I'm just going to say file size formatter, and it's a function. So it's going to take, remember it has two arguments, so I'll cut that. This is the first argument, and the second argument is how many decimal places do you want it to have. So for this one, I just want it to be in 2 decimal places, and you'll see the output very shortly. So I think that's about it for this one. Yeah. Then next, we're going to now output this file data. We're going to save it with the new product we create. Okay, so I'm just going to come down here, and after my description here, I'll just add the image property. Remember, that's what we saved it as, and then I will set it to point to the file data. Yeah, I think that's it. File data, exactly, it's file data. So that's about it for this one. So now it's time for us to test out this functionality as well. As for this response.status.201, you can add an if statement to, catch any possible error. But I think it's okay like this as well. So let me save this guy, and let's bring up Insomnia. And this time we're going to test by adding this file, and then we'll upload it. So fingers crossed. You know what? Let me just add something new. So electronics 4. Now let's try to upload it, and this I'll change to product 2 so that it's different from the one we had before. Product 2. Okay, so now let's try to upload it. Send. So you see we have a result here. Let me expand this guy so that we have some more space. So you notice something here, that unlike the first one, we now have this image property, and we have the file name, which is this guy. We have the file path, which is where the file is located, and you see we added an hyphen here, then MIME type or the file type, and then the file size. This is 12.48 kilobytes, which is actually fine, right? Yeah, so that's about it for this one. Now in the next, if you come to this our code editor rather, and you go to the uploads folder we created, and you open it up, you'll see that we have the file. It's saved inside our upload folder. Okay, for some reason it's not displaying here, but I'm sure you can see it here that it's saved here. So that's one of the things that we can do with Multer. Now, but then there's another problem that we're going to address in the next video, and that is that there are some hosting providers that may not allow you to upload and save files like this, or images and files like this on the server. For example, the the hosting platform we're going to use, Render, they may not necessarily allow you to save files like this on the server, because first of all, it's free, so I'm going to show you how we can save this image to the cloud service, specifically Cloudinary, and then we'll just have it somewhere else and display it on our website. So that's going to come in the next video. See you there.